it's a simple process to me. A lot of you guys asking me about the NBA and what I think about all these games, but let me inform you about something. The inmates are running the asylum. Okay, it's monkey see, monkey do. I mean, that's the best way I could really put it. Is monkey see, monkey do, and the inmates are running the asylum. See, let me inform you guys on something a lot of you guys didn't know. Adam Silver almost wasn't the commissioner of the NBA. He probably don't even know that. Rod Thorne was really didn't know about should we put this guy as the commissioner of the NBA. You know, Stern is the one that really went to bat for him. You know, a lot of people didn't feel he had the stones for the job. You know, and what it details. He has a lot. It's not just everything bestowed on his decision, but he's more pro player. He's more pro player than anything you could ever imagine. Now he may seem pro, you know, company, but he's somebody that relies mostly on the relationships of communicating with players. And that was always his staple, that he was an ear to listen to. When he worked and shadowed David Stern, and he mostly did some of the things Stern would just defer and let Adam see how Adam would handle these situations. And Adam was very stern in dealing with these, different situations and how he handled the conversations. And when he walked in the door, he had the ban Sterling for life from the NBA. And a lot of people, some people didn't agree because they was like, no, don't ban him for life. Because see now, but the NBA's gotta send a message is that we don't want this kind of behavior around because okay, let's say they don't ban him. They suspend him and he comes back. What black athlete is gonna want to play for Stern? I mean play for Sterling. You know, he's got to go. And they was like, well, you letting the other people that think like that, if they, they won't talk now. They gonna run back in the hole because now they know they could be punished. We don't care what they do in the hole. Let them run back in the hole and be racist. They can be racist in the hole. The problem is we don't need it in the spaces that they are in. You act like you're gonna cure racism by keeping Sterling around. He still was gonna think if you was a bunch of N-words, he just was gonna be back in the league and around it. So it was just gonna make the situation worse. He had to go. I understand it, but he walked through the door with that great responsibility on his shoulders. Like, let's see what he does to handle this. So, he was known as the no nonsense commissioner, and because that's how he was when he shadowed David Stern. And they were like, okay, he is stern. He's strong enough to stand on his own. But it seems like ever since then, he's caved. He's become basically whatever the union suggests, he's basically with it. And it's it's not a okay. Let me inform you a little bit of something. Jerry West don't really like Adam Silver. I'm gonna tell you that right now. See, I'm gonna end up letting a lot of stuff out the bag because Jerry West is old school general manager, talent scout. He doesn't have time for nonsense. He don't have time for those people who are being favorable to somebody, and he don't have time for players being general managers or presidents being ran by players. That's some West don't like at all. And him being a former player, he understands and respects the free agency market. And, he fought for that, as a player. So he understands, like, look, the system can be broken and everything, but he said all that stuff is sour grapes. Players choose where they want to go, So he was upset. He's like, we signed Shaq. Remember that? And it was a big uproar when they signed Shaq. He's like, the owners make the rules. They negotiate with the players. And for them to say something like that to Jerry West on their part, the commissioner said something like that. And I called him out about it. I told him I don't think that the comment was fair. It's not fair to Kevin Durant. It's not fair to the Warriors. It's not fair to any team going forward who's going to sign as a free agency of stature. The players bargain to have free agency. They have a chance to play where they want to go. I only wish that I only wish I had the opportunity in my career. And I'm sure a lot of other players felt the same way. So that's what I'm saying. They didn't have these things. They fought and played for the fact that so one day they could have free agency. I'm quite sure he hated losing in the finals all those years and never beating the Celtics. And that's the logo talking. Now, Adam Silver talking about they're going to examine some corrections within the system. You don't say stuff like that because that's not your choice. And that's because why would that be a problem? Because it affects your ability to rig the game. Why would a commissioner be concerned about, oh, that's unfair? He's going to a team that he's a free agent. He can go where he wants to go. If it fits on the schedule and he's taking the pay cut, this is what he wants to do. What's the problem? It's not a trade. So you don't have an opinion or a voice to say anything about it. You can't come in and say, I can see if it was a trade and you felt like, hey, this trade ain't fair. And you're like, okay, well, this trade isn't fair. So, we'll just move on from this point. No, it's not that at all. The trade was fair. There was nothing wrong about anything that went down. So if you know that, then you know that this whole thing was a debacle, a dog and pony show. Now, LeBron makes a statement talking about, the NBA, yeah, why stay in college? Yeah, most of these guys, what are you staying there for? You might as well leave. So now they trying to talk down on the collegiate league, and now they talking about NBA talking about going in the deal right with high school and come out with something just for the high school student. Once again, letting the inmates run the asylum. Who was the main person that had a problem with the Kevin Durant situation? Oh, it hurts LeBron's chances of winning. So yeah, it's definitely a problem with LeBron. So Adam Silver wants to keep him happy because his job is the bottom line and make it look like he's productive. He's gonna keep LeBron in all the commercials. He's in the union or the Players Association president. He's an assistant. He's on the staff. so he can get in there and talk about what he wants to see done with the league. That's why you saw this All-Star game crap. Whatever is going to change the parameters or the scale or whatever, he has no sense of the integrity of the game. He's only for some quick fix, some internet talk, and let's get this thing going in the right direction. And this is what the people want. That's not what the people want. People want to see basketball, real basketball. They want to see competition. The playoffs sucked for the past couple of years because you only promote two teams. So for the past two seasons, the playoff has been absolutely dog crap. To everybody last year, just anticipating, like, wake us up when Cleveland plays Golden State. And last year's playoff was so uninteresting. They only had one game that was really worth anything, and that was Game 3. I enjoyed them all because I want to see Cleveland lose. If they get beat by 20, cool. But they proved, like, how did they sweep the whole East if they was this bad when they got to the finals? That's the question that people need to be asking. How did this even happen? They're not the team that was supposed to be there. Obviously, you had Isaiah Thomas get hurt in the Eastern Conference Final, and Kawhi Leonard was hurt during the Western Conference Final. So boom, there you go. You had basically no playoffs last year. Cleveland lost what, one game? Golden State didn't lose any games going into the finals. They lost one game in the playoffs. And that's exciting. Inmates running the asylum. Because you think just because you bestow some rights to LeBron, that the other people in the facility are just gonna play ball? No. They're gonna say, well, LeBron got away with it. We gonna do it. So now you're gonna see all these changes, and now this is when you abuse the rules, abuse power, and now you're starting to see idiotic remarks like the NBA might be getting into the high school business. Why? These kids already are not developed enough. Only certain kids can make it. And what you think the collegiate game gonna do? Just fall apart? Like they gonna just roll over and go along with this idea? You be fighting that forever. All the boosters, the scholarships, the fans. No way. They're gonna let some high school stuff go down and take their dollars. Y'all finna lose out to March Madness. The NBA is not even beating March Madness. March Madness has a CBS network distribution deal. Fox, CBS, they're gonna be running those games. The NBA, they're gonna be on cable. You won't see them on network television. Only on what, Saturday? You get the Sunday prime time games on Saturday and Sunday. That's it on ABC. And those haven't been knocking the door down. But it only appears they're doing exceptional because of the fact that you have Adam Silver doing all these endorsement deals with the NBA by expansion. He's expanding over here to this country. He's expanding in China, expanding over here, taking the NBA stars, flying them there to there. So he's doing these deals to make it look like the NBA is growing in revenue. They're estimatedly worth $30 billion. I'm like, do you realize if that was really the case, the owner of the Houston Rockets, why the hell would he sell the team? If they're flourishing, they finna go someplace. He's like, I'm getting out. I'm selling the team. Why is players and owners selling their teams? You've seen more owners sell their teams this year or in these past 4 years than you have seen in a very long time when we had our previous commissioner, David Stern. I'm just saying. We've been seeing a lot of new blood come in here. And guys normally don't sell teams and transition periods and things like that. People normally sit on that staff for a long time. So why did the Houston Rockets owner want out? Why? Because they spend so much money on the team and they basically make their money back or break even 50-50 because they pay out so much with the athletes' contracts. They got Harden contract, you got Melo's contract, you got Paul George looking for an extension on his. I mean, they're stacked. You got Chris Paul's contract. They're one and done. That's all they can afford. It's too expensive. So they're not going to make their money back this year. They can make it in revenue and attention, but not too many people even on the Midwest or East Coast even watching those games. Only if they're playing their team. When the Houston Rockets play, let's say, New Orleans, who's watching that? When Houston's playing the Knicks, who's really watching that game? I would because it's New York. But I'm a different breed altogether. So with that being said, I just had to shed some light on a couple of the situations. You know, ESPN is doing their business with the NBA, so that's also in play, and like all these little brand deals that they're doing. It's like a squirrel scrounging around, pulling all their nuts together to see what they come up with. But you tell me, do you think Adam Silver is doing a good job or not? Put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. As always, this is your boy Carcino. I am out saying thank you guys again for sticking around this long. It's been 18 minutes plus, and you're still going strong. I appreciate that. Don't forget to sub.